everybody. My name is Grayson Maggio, and thank you for tuning in this lovely morning. I will be your host for this Texas 4000 virtual ride. Texas 4000 is the longest annual charity bike ride in the world. We ride from Austin, Texas to Anchorage, Alaska to spread hope, knowledge, and charity in the fight against cancer. Unfortunately, this year we are unable to do the ride physically, so we are bringing it to y'all virtually. We're going to start off with some ride deads. Here's a quick video explaining what it is. If you look closely, you may see yours truly.
Texas 4000 is the largest annual charity bike ride that takes place every summer from Austin to Anchorage, Alaska, with the purpose of spreading our mission of hope, knowledge, and charity in the fight against cancer. A ride dedication is a way that we start a lot of our meetings or a lot of our rides. This is when we dedicate a ride or a part of our ride to somebody who has been in some way affected by cancer.
A ride dedication is motivation to me because when I'm going up a steep hill or it's been a really long ride, the ride dedications that I hear from my teammates and myself are the reasons that I keep riding.
Due to the current circumstances surrounding COVID-19, it's no longer safe for us to do our typical bicycle ride from Austin, Texas to Anchorage, Alaska. So instead, we've decided to do things virtually this summer.
So we will be having our cycling events virtually. We will be engaging with our community virtually.
A virtual ride dedication works largely the same way as a normal ride dedication. Before every meeting or before every virtual ride, you would say, I ride for this person. And if you want to, you can go into a little bit more detail about how that person touched your life.
You can submit your ride dedications via 3 different platforms. You can submit a ride dedication via the Texas 4000 webpage. You can join our Facebook live stream, or you can join our Zoom calls.
The virtual ride will be going on from May 29th to June 26th, and ride deads will be held before host interactions in the afternoon and at 7:30 to 8 a.m. Central Time every morning.
Thank you so much for participating.
Join us at texas4000.org. Together we can make a difference.
Thank you, Clara. All right, I'm going to welcome in some other riders to help us out this afternoon. So first off, we have Mihir of the Sierra route, Chris of the Rockies route, and Dell from Ozarks. Thank you for joining me this morning, y'all. So we're going to start off with some ride deads, and first I'm just going to go through y'all. Mihir, do you have any ride deads this morning?
Yeah, just as always, I want to ride for my aunt, who's a doctor who in India. She works in a really, really poor area in India. And obviously coronavirus is really bad there just because of the population density. She's also a breast cancer survivor, and just seeing her every day, like, keep going and trying to make a difference in her community was something that was always really inspiring. It's why I joined T4K and riding for her every day. Along with her, I want to ride for our teammate Colin and his mom.
So I'm going to pass it on to you.
Sorry. So today I'm going to be riding for my grandma and grandpa and honoring their battle with cancer. So my grandma recently beat melanoma, so we're really fortunate that she's doing a lot better. But my grandpa is still fighting prostate cancer and has been for the past 5 years. So we're wishing him all the best, truly inspired by his fight. And I'm hoping to honor his and her battle with cancer today. And then always riding for our teammate Colin.
Dell?
Yeah, so today I wanted to ride for everybody at Ochsner. Ozarks was able to meet with them earlier this week, and I think the whole team will be having a meeting with them later today. We got to talk with Dr. Lauderman there about pediatric oncology, and yeah, we heard all about what our grant has gone to for them, just making care more accessible. So I really want to highlight them and just say that I'm really glad that T4K can be involved with organizations like Ochsner. And yeah, also always riding for our teammate Colin as well.
Thanks, y'all. Well, now that y'all have seen what a ride that looks like and you have seen some examples, you can do it too. Yes, you. Just go to the Facebook comments, YouTube comments, and we will live stream them back onto the screen, and these lovely riders will help us go through them and be riding for the people that y'all would like. So with just continue that feed, and here's the first one.
Thank you.
We
so
appreciate that, Ro. Yeah, it means a lot whenever people are saying they'll ride for us as well. So thanks, guys. I think we also had a couple that were sent in earlier. We had one for Marcia Goodlit, who passed away on May 20th. So just want to be riding for her as well.
I also want to give one for Ben Remington, Mike Remington, and Liz Ogle, because cancer hits too many families and friends.
And I can also give one for Laurie Brubaker. She passed away on August 23rd, 2019 from complications of pancreatic cancer. And she loved T4K, so we just want to recognize her and ride for her today as well.
I also want to ride for my friend Paige and her friend, whose parents both just got diagnosed with cancer a few days ago. I was on a ride with Paige, and she was just telling us the story about her high school friends and how close they all were, and then how kind of shocking the diagnosis of both her parents being diagnosed with cancer, or both her friends' parents being diagnosed with cancer, like right as the pandemic was starting. It was just really scary for her, and so she was telling us about that, and just want to ride for Paige's friend.
And then Clara is also bringing up riding for all the people we've met panhandling. All of our supporters who donate to us in the streets whenever we go out and ask for money. That's been a huge support, so riding for them as well.
And Chloe Sanders will definitely ride for her. Thank you.
Hi, Mom.
And then we'll also ride for Lisa Dukes, often three times cancer survivor. So definitely keeping her in our thoughts and riding for her as well.
I'll also give a ride dead for the kids of Camp Kesem. For those who don't know, Camp Kesem is a camp over the summer where kids whose parents have been affected by cancer are welcome to attend. And it's a really special time where they can really just talk about how they're feeling. Other people are going through similar things. And I was a member of it last summer, and it was a huge inspiration for Texas 4000. So ride dead for all the kids in Camp Kesem.
I can also give a ride dead for Be the Match. We worked with them really closely this past year. And I also want to highlight a girl named Lizzie. She was a UT student who worked closely with Be the Match, and she was unable to find a bone marrow donor. So yeah, if you can, then go ahead and go to Be the Match and think about registering for the bone marrow donor registry.
Always riding for Lizzie. Thanks, Ross. We'll be riding for your grandma.
I also wanted to add one more person from the ride I went on the other day. Sarah Bernal. She stopped us. Hey, Bubba. Nice to see you on here. Sarah Bernal. She stopped us when we were up in Round Rock, and kind of just like she saw our jerseys, and she was in a car, so she pulled over and was like, "Hey, don't you guys do something for cancer?" And so we were kind of telling her about the organization, and she is currently fighting colon cancer right now. But you could, she definitely appreciated what we were doing, and we just wanted to ride for her, and like talking to her and her family was like a really cool part of our ride yesterday. So yeah, riding for her.
And as we wait for some more ride deads to come through, Del or Chris, do y'all have any experiences similar to here while panhandling or riding where maybe you met somebody that you would like to ride for?
Yeah, I definitely do. I can tell a story about from last summer whenever I was panhandling. There was a man on a motorcycle who we saw drive by a couple of times. And then on his third time around, he slowed down like just enough to put a note in our hand with like $5 or something. And he wrote a note. His name was Don. And he told us that he had battled cancer a couple of years ago and had been cancer free for, I think, 2 years now. And so I just wanted to not only ride for him, but just recognize that we do have a lot of like silent supporters who they might see us and not be able to donate, or just like can't manage to get the dollar out of their window in time or something. And so even if they're not necessarily like engaging with us directly, I do know that we bring a lot of hope to everybody that sees us. So yeah, riding for everybody that we've seen panhandling.
I have a fun story as well. This is probably my favorite story, panhandling. I was in downtown Austin for South by Southwest with my teammate Ashka, and we were approached by a woman named Stacy who quickly gave us her story. She'd recently lost a very close loved one to pancreatic cancer, and she was a huge supporter of Texas 4000, so she wanted to get involved. So she took our names and said she'd donate online, and then later we logged in, and we had $1,000 each from Mrs. Stacy. So it was an incredible act of solidarity in the fight against cancer, and just so inspiring to see how people are willing to contribute to this mission. Thank you, Stacy, and writing for the Butler family.
Yeah, I think my favorite panhandling story was a long time ago. I think it was like onboarding or something, but we were out panhandling, and panhandling can be kind of a draining experience when you haven't got any interactions in a while, or any donations in a while. So we'd been out for maybe like 40 minutes without a donation in the like hot Texas sun. And we were really debating going home, but we decided, let's stick it out for until the hour and then we'll go home. And like kind of like the last light cycle, someone walked up to us and they saw our story, saw our signs and everything. And she was like just so moved. She basically just took out her wallet and just took all the cash out and just put it in there. And we like all talked for like the last 20 minutes, and she just shared her story. And so moments like that are really cool. Yeah. And then also writing for Keith Townsend, whose dad fought cancer. So.
I can also give a similar story panhandling. I don't know the person's name, but I know they drove by and said, "Go Texas 4000," as they threw $100 out the window on bee caves. So ran out there, got it. So shout out big F-150 truck in Westlake. Ride that for them.
Thanks, Allie. We'll be riding for the same friend. Allie's my ride director. Always riding for her.
And Shelby, thanks for the ride, Dad. We'll ride for your Uncle Michael.
Thanks, Shelby. Thanks, Marlon. Marlon's a 2019 rider.
And then I think we had a couple from our list too. So writing for Grant Mathis, who's 31 years old and was diagnosed with Burkitt lymphoma and is currently undergoing treatment in Medical City in Dallas. And he's going through his third cycle of chemo. And so we'll just be writing for him and remembering and thinking about him and hoping he gets better soon. So yeah, fighting for him.
Also want to give a ride dedication to Kirat Baweja. who was in the UT class of 2019, who unfortunately passed away after a really tough battle with leukemia, I think yesterday. So our team's writing for him as well.
And we also got a ride dead from Megan Looters for Richard J. Wood. And she said, thanks for writing for my dad who lost his battle last year to multiple myeloma.
And then, yeah, we'll be writing for Mackenzie. I'm just thinking about her as well. And then for my grandpa, I called him Azaba. He passed away from lung cancer when I was a sophomore in high school, and that was a tough moment for our family. So thinking about him too. Okay, and we'll be writing for Kathy as well, and also, hey, Amrit, good to see you.
I'll give another ride dead for my uncle in Seattle. One, due to COVID, he is sadly having to quarantine in his beach cabin, which I don't think he's that upset about. But he's also a colon cancer survivor, so riding for Dawn.
Hey, Madison. We'll be writing for Karen and Ross Jennings.
Thanks, Madison.
I also like to share a story from, I think it was one of the rides that I was on alone whenever we were all quarantining, but still trying to ride and like keep up with our training. I was riding our McKinney route and I ended up getting a flat tire. And so I was kind of just stuck on the side of the road, but this group of bikers came up and made sure that everything was okay. And because they saw my jersey, they asked all about T4K. And I found out that one of the cyclists, his mother had passed from breast cancer, I think just a few months before. So riding for him, and also just, it's really cool to be able to spread the mission in so many diverse ways, and to see exactly how many people really are affected by cancer. So yeah.
Hey, Malo. We also have a ride dedication for the good people at Texas Oncology, including Dr. Gorbeck, Shuba, and Christina. They've been super hardworking. They've been working tirelessly around the clock throughout the pandemic, keeping their patients safe and motivated. So definitely riding for them.
We'll be writing for Masaki too. Yeah, just thinking about him and keeping him in our memory as well.
Thanks, Charlie.
Hey, Emily, we'll also ride for your Aunt Athletics.
Thanks.
Thank you. We also have another ride dead from Melissa Mormon for Christy Barth, just being a huge inspiration for her. So we'll be riding for both of you.
Thank you, Bill.
And I don't know if we already said this, but pulling from our list as well, writing for Richard J. Wood, who lost his battle last year to multiple myeloma. So
Thanks, Christy. We'll be writing for Cindy.
I'll also give another ride dead for both my grandfathers. One of them is Papa Vince. He is a throat cancer survivor. My other one is Jerry Lee, who passed away from cancer.
And I can give another ride dedication for two of my close friends, Galia and Sanjana. They are the reasons that I applied to Texas 4000 in the first place, and they both lost really close loved ones to cancer, so I'm always riding for them.
So we have a few more minutes for ride deads. I'll let the ride go get prepared for the ride. Just a reminder, you can also give a ride dead. Facebook or YouTube comments, and they will come up on the screen, and we will be writing for that person today and always. So please keep those comments coming. We have about 4 or 5 minutes left until we transition. And thank you all who have commented so far.
Ride deads are one of the biggest ways that I know for me personally that keep me motivated. It's always a really good reminder at the beginning of a ride, just to think about all the people who are affected by the disease. It also personally reminds me of all the people in my own life who've been affected by the disease. Whenever I hear a similar story or something like that. And so it's a great constant reminder of, why you joined the organization, why you're willing to go through really hard moments, and why you're going to keep going. So ride deads are definitely huge for me.
Chris or Del, how does ride dedication motivate y'all?
Yeah, I second all of that. It's been such a great way to just centralize and focus before, especially rides. Like Mihir said, it really helps us through the tough times and keeps us focused on why we do this.
Yeah, I would echo everything that Mihir and Chris have already said. For me, it's also a really great way to remember and keep in mind all the diverse ways that people are affected by cancer, whether that's cancer patients or caretakers or anyone in the medical field. There's just a whole range of people that are involved in this. So keeping all of these diverse stories in mind.
We'll be riding for Erica as well.
Hi, Annie. We're riding for Jessica.
Yes, definitely. As always riding for communities disproportionately affected. That was definitely a huge reason I joined. Like I mentioned, my aunt has always been just a super big advocate for communities that were definitely marginalized in terms of healthcare, and just seeing her always fight for communities that don't have as much was a huge reason why I wanted to join. So that is very near and dear.
Thanks, Tony. We'll be riding for Mrs. Patty.
Thank you.
And with that, I'm going to let these guys go and get ready. But today, the special day, is the first day that all 3 routes will be riding together. We have a ride from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We have an Ochsner program from 5 to 6, and then another ride from 6 to 7. So please tune in, check those out. Throughout the week, we have individual rides. So Ozarks will ride another day, Sierra ride another day, Rocky ride another day. But today is really special. We all get to ride together. So please tune in. But with that, I'm going to let you all go. We're going to play some sponsor slides and some music, and we'll see y'all at 8 a.m.
Thanks, Grayson.
morning. My name is Grayson Maggio. I'm here in Austin, Texas, and I'll be your host for the ride this morning. Today is a special day in terms that we have all three routes represented. Yes, I said all three. We have Rockies, Ozarks, and Sierra. During the week, we transition between the three of them. I believe Sunday is Sierra, Monday is Rockies, and Tuesday is Ozarks, and therefore for the rest of the week. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the riders through. We're going to start with Dell of Ozarks.
Hi.
Hello, Dell. Chris from Rockies.
Morning.
And I don't know if Mihir's quite ready yet, but let's pull his screen in, possibly. There he is. All right.
Yes.
Hello, prestigious riders. Thank you for joining me this morning. And just to start off, just give your name, your major, and your post-grad plans. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Mihir of Sierra.
Okay, cool. So I'm here. I'm a Sierra 2020 rider. I just graduated with a degree in math, so that's cool. And then after school in T4K, I am planning on going to work for BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, and I'll be starting in January. So excited about that.
And I'm going to pass it on to Chris.
Hey, my name's Chris. I'm a 2020 Rockies rider. I just graduated UT with degrees in biology and English. And in the fall, I'm starting medical school at the Stritch School of Medicine at Loyola University in Chicago.
And last but not least, Dell. Oh.
Hi. I'm Delaney Bolton. I just graduated with a BA in Asian Studies. I'm on the Ozarks route, and then next fall I'll be going to Stanford to start a PhD program in art history.
Incredible, y'all. So, how y'all can be involved: Facebook comments, YouTube comments. You can ask these riders some questions. You can give out some ride deads. They will be able to see y'all's comments on the screen as they come through. So please keep those coming. There you go. There's our first one right there. But I'll go and ask some questions. Okay. So today is a special day in terms of all three. Oh, I'll introduce myself again. My name is Grayson Maggio. I'm also on the Ozarks route. I am hosting today, so that's why I'm not a trainer. I'm going to get my bike ride in after. But I'm also the ride director, which basically means I'm like the, I don't even know, director of the route as it goes through. Just making sure it all goes through, and it's also leadership development as it goes. And we also have some other leaders on here with me here on fundraising, and I know that Dell and Chris are also involved in some committees. So I can look, try to find. And just a reminder, y'all, to make sure when the comments come through, try to read them if you can. You can see them. If not, I can also read them. But all right, first question: Buc-ee's or Round Rock Donuts as a rest stop? People want to know, and I think it should be terms of three things: bathrooms, food, overall experience. Give y'all a second to think, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Chris. Rockies, or not Rockies, Round Rock Donuts or Buc-ee's as a rest stop?
All right, I'm going to have to go with Buc-ee's simply because that was a life-changing ride. Everything was on the line with that ride. We had so much at stake. It was an 80-plus mile ride for those at home who don't know. So it was strenuous. It was a long day. But having Buc-ee's in the middle really put our hearts at rest. We had pristine bathrooms. Nowhere on earth will you find bathrooms that nice. Every food item you could possibly imagine, and great company. We were basking in the light of Buc-ee himself. So I have to say Buc-ee's takes the throne.
I got one for Buc-ee's. All right, Dell, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm gonna have to go with Round Rock Donuts all the way.
It's getting spicy out there.
I would agree. Your point on the bathrooms of Buc-ee's. That's a valid point. But I think overall experience at Round Rock Donuts is way better. It's so endearing to roll up to this local business with our whole team and get one donut. That's it. Period.
All right. We got 1 point for Round Rock, 1 point for Buc-ee's. Me here, you are the tiebreaker for the best rest stop. Let's hear it.
I do have to say, I do truly love Round Rock Donuts. I appreciate all they do for us. A lot of times they'll give us free donuts when we're up there. But I was on that Buc-ee's ride with Chris. We were in that ride group together, and that was still the best training ride I ever went on in T4K, and it was just such an amazing time. And then we had a flat for 40 minutes. We were standing in the cold and the rain, but just because of the group that we had together, we were all just so optimistic about everything. There were just really good spirits, and just going through that with all those people meant so much to me. And then when we pulled into Buc-ee's halfway through the ride, that was just such a great stopping point. I'm from Houston, and that's also the Buc-ee's that you pass when you're driving back to Houston. So I've stopped at that particular Buc-ee's countless number of times in my time at UT. And so to be able to say hey, I biked to that Buc-ee's, that was a really cool moment for me. So got to go with Buc-ee's as much as I love Round Rock Donuts.
Shout out to Justin, Austin, and Rachel. Rachel already knows what it is. Great ride. Never forget Buc-ee's.
And one more fun story about that ride. It was an 80-mile ride. The last 20 miles, we were all bonking at the same time. So for those of you non-cyclists who are watching, when you bonk, it's basically when your body kind of runs out of all the nutrients it needs, and you just sort of feel, all of a sudden, you just kind of feel like you can't bike at all, and your body's kind of giving up. And so I think 10 or 20 miles to go, someone in the back was just like, "Hey guys, I think I'm bonking," just to tell everyone to slow down. And everyone else in the ride group was just like, "Oh yeah, me too. Hey," and I think just the fact that it was happening to every single one of us just made the solidarity that much better. And we that was the first and only time that I've truly felt like I've had fun while I was mid-bonk. So just a great time.
You hear to hear first, folks. Buc-ee's takes the cake for the best rest stop. So without further ado, I'm actually going to introduce the other riders on our route. They are currently also riding. They're on a Zoom call, so I'm going to bring them in. Here they are. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but a wave. Nope, really delayed.
I know there's a lag, but just want to say hey to all my teammates. I know when we're on the StreamYard, we can't be on the Zoom, but hey guys, just want to say hi.
And throughout the week, we try to rotate the people who are on the live stream answering questions, so everyone will get their moment in the spotlight at some point. So they don't always have to just ride in silence on Zoom. All right, I'm gonna try to think of some other. Oh, just a quick reminder: if you want to learn more about Texas 4000, to the cause, help us out. Texas4000.org is the place to go. You can also submit ride dedications. And if you all were here earlier, ride dedications are one of the best parts of our organization, where we hear comments from you, other teammates, alumni, and it encourages us to ride. It gives us motivation to ride. It's a great place to do it. Along with the comments on YouTube or Facebook, if you'd like to give questions for these riders, like the burning ones, like Buc-ee's first Round Rock Donuts, please submit them in the Facebook or YouTube comments or ride dedications. We will read them off for y'all. With that, I'm gonna give y'all a quick little break from me to just ride and chat amongst yourself and have those comments come through. Good luck.
Cool. What other controversial this or that could we get into?
Controversial topics? Who knows? I saw best route on the stop, but we don't have. That's pretty easy to answer, so we don't have to go into that.
That's true. I have a feeling that'll get hostile in the comments. But yeah. How about we start with volunteering? What was y'all's favorite volunteering event that we did?
I think mine was like be the match whenever we tabled on campus. We got like 75 people registered, and I think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think Be the Match is a really cool one just because I think the impact is very tangible. You know, you like definitely saw for every person who you got to sign up, that was one more person in the registry, and that felt really good. So definitely kind of agree with Del there. I think there were some other cool volunteering events where we would do like at a ride and you'd have to kind of drive out a little bit. Like I know LBJ, that for the LBJ 100, when we went out, that was a cool experience. Especially just like visiting the LBJ ranch as a kid and stuff. It was cool to see it in a different light. And then the Austin Marathon is always fun just because you get to do it with the other team, whether they're ahead of you or behind you, depending on where or when you do it. But it's always cool to like get to interact with the other T4K team. So that's always fun.
For sure. I think my favorite, to echo what y'all already said, was Be the Match. We also did an event with Del Children's and Be the Match where we came out and supported Lizzie. We helped register people for the donor registry. It was a really special day. Seeing the community come out, all support Lizzie, all fighting together in solidarity. So I thought that was such a meaningful and impactful volunteering event. I think probably my favorite done down.
Yeah, I think I'll also shout out one more is the Texas Health Catalyst demo day.
Yeah.
Texas Health Catalyst is a program at Dell Medical School that is essentially like a technology incubator. They help commercialize different research projects at UT into like startups, and it's a program that I got to do a little bit of work with during my senior year. And it's a program that T4K grants a lot of money to. So getting to work with them and do a volunteer event with them was really cool. It's a big shout out.
I know one of the questions on our list was if any of y'all had cycling experience before we came in. We want to talk about that, and I guess like the general team culture in regards to cycling.
I can go first, I guess. I had a little bit of cycling experience. Me and my dad used to do the MS150, which is a bike ride from Houston to Austin to raise money for multiple sclerosis. And so we did that, I think, 4 different times before I joined T4K, once in my freshman year of college and then 3 times during high school. So that was a cool experience and introduced me to cycling. And definitely helped with T4K. And then when I came back to T4K, it was when I came to T4K, it was my first time cycling, basically since my last MS150. So it was really cool to fall in love with the sport a second time. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I learned how to ride a bike whenever I was really little, and then I didn't really use that skill that much growing up, really. But whenever I came to T4K, it was definitely my first time riding seriously. And yeah, I guess I would echo what Mihir said, just about falling in love with a sport like this. It's really changed my life completely. So yeah.
What about you, Chris? Did you have cycling experience before?
For sure. I was actually a gymnast before this, and I guess actually at the same time as this, so cycling was never on my docket, but I'm really glad I found it. T4K has given us, not only this cool platform that we can help spread our message in the fight against cancer, but also cool to see our teammates. I know some of us haven't ever ridden a bike before when they embarked on this crazy journey. So seeing the growth, seeing people turn into actually stellar cyclists from nothing has been really, really cool. So shout out to all our teammates who started from scratch and did so incredibly this year.
Yeah, I think all of our teammates who didn't know how to ride a bike before they joined are all really inspiring to me.
Yeah.
Just because the challenge is that much greater and they still took it on. So.
Do y'all have a favorite training route that we do for Saturday rides?
I think my favorite was Lime Creek. Lime Creek, it's a 70-ish mile ride. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. And it goes out to Lake Travis and like in the hills surrounding Lake Travis. And it was just such a like pretty ride. Cause like, even if there's like a bad hill or something, a lot of the times you get up to the top and then you have this great view of Lake Travis. And it was just a really rewarding ride to do and to go through. So definitely Lime Creek.
For me, I think it was Bee Caves. I think doing it the first time with our team, we were really nervous about it. We heard some bad things. But we came out the other end successfully. We had so much fun doing it. It was a challenging route, but I think after we conquered it, we knew that biking to the last over 7 million goal. So that was a really special ride for us. Del, do you have one?
Oh, hi, Christy. We will ride for Bill as well. He's one of our board members. So thank you for also riding with us today. Really happy to have you with us.
Thanks, Christy.
To answer the question, yeah, I also like Lime Creek. I think it was a really challenging ride for our team, but it just brought us that much closer to finish that sort of ride together.
And Del, we did Lime Creek together, right? Our first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That was an awesome ride.
Hello, I'm back with more controversial questions. I heard you all hit on kind of some route stuff earlier, so I know we all have some phrases. We got Go Zarks, Rush Rockies, and Sierra Dice. So I'm going to lead it off with me here. Why would you rush Rockies? I know we're mixing it up today. Our Sierra rider asking why you rush Rockies, but since we're doing a team ride, we're gonna see how this goes. So Mihir, why would you rush Rockies for anybody who is listening, who's interested in Texas 4000?
Okay, this is an interesting concept. I did not expect to be advocating for Rockies today, but I'll take a stab at it. First, I would just like to say I had a lot of really close friends on the 2019 team, and a bunch of them were on Rockies. So, and they've been like big supporters of me throughout my T4K experience. So, definitely like just for them and for all our alumni who support us, like they were just a great part of my T4K experience. So that's definitely one reason. And then I think the other reason is I think just the areas you go through are really like kind of out of the way. They're not necessarily places you would normally travel to. I guess the same can kind of be said for Ozarks too. But and I think you're not necessarily with people as often. Like you don't go through major cities and like a very populated region of the country. And I think that's a special experience for a lot of people, especially people who've maybe had like a lot of stuff. A lot of people I think join T4K because they have something that they want to ride for personally, internally, and that they're really thinking about and processing on the ride, and I think Rockies is a really great route for that. As well as just, it's just a beautiful route, and you get to see so many cool things. So
Thank you, Mihir. All right, Chris, similar question. Why would you go? Oh, he tuned out. I'll bump it up to. Oh, there he's back. He's back. Oh, he's back. Okay. Why would you go Zarks, Chris?
Yeah.
And be careful, because I am very biased.
Yeah, I think a lot of the same reasons that drew me to Rockies are true for Ozarks as well. I think it's a really powerful thing to be able to connect with the community kind of off the beaten path. There's so much good that we can bring to, more rural areas, a little bit more secluded communities through our knowledge pillar. There's information that I think we can bring to these places that otherwise would be a little bit less accessible. So one of the huge benefits of Ozarks is going actually the opposite way from the other two routes, and going into the cancer belt, which is one of the most highest proportionally affected areas in the country for cancer. And it's really important that we get into these communities and spread the knowledge that we do, to start mitigating some of the health outcomes and some of the disproportionate cancer rates that we see in the cancer belt. So Ozarks is definitely a great route to look into if you're looking to make as much as an impact as possible on people who don't necessarily have access to that information, all throughout the country. So Ozarks is good.
That answer suffices. Thank you, Chris. I'm going to pass it on. Last one, right above to Dell, another Ozarks. But Dell, why would you go Sierra Dice?
Yeah, Sierra's a great route. One thing I think is really admirable about all of our teammates on Sierra is the commitment to starting their ride out before they get to what we call Sierra Dice. So it's really cool to see all of them in testing trials and keep on that challenge in solidarity with battling cancer. And then I think also because Sierra is the first route that started T4K, it really does remain like the bedrock of the organization, and it really served as a model for the creation of the other routes.
Thank you, Dale. I'm going to give a quick little flash to our jerseys. If everyone was going to look up, they are absolutely fire. But they are new. This is the 2020 jerseys. And if you want to look as stylish as me, then you can also purchase your own Texas 4000 jersey at texas4000.org. There's also other Texas 4000 merch. Please check it out. You can also make ride dedications at texas4000.org and donate and help us out as we do our virtual ride to Anchorage, Alaska from Austin, Texas this summer. Keep the comments coming, questions, ride deads through Facebook or YouTube, and we'll have them pop up on the screen for these riders to answer. But I also have another controversial question. So, as you all know, we are sponsored by Noon. Thank you, Noon, spelled N-U-U-N, not N-O-O-N. But I have seen people eat Noon. You're supposed to put them in the water, and people have eaten them. So, eat the Noon or drink the Noon. I'm going to go ahead and start off. I'm going right back to Dell. Dell, thoughts? Eating Noons like Tums or drinking it?
I would say both have their merits. I really like the chaos of eating them like Tums, but personally, I'm going to have to go with drinking it. I think it just works faster, absorbs better. So yeah, Noon all the way.
Christian, here, you want to take a stab?
Yeah.
Chris, you want to go for it?
Yeah. So first off, thank you, Noon. Really appreciate the sponsorship. Y'all keep us hydrated through the hottest of days. I used to be somebody who made fun of people who ate it like Tums. I thought it was absolutely savage. I thought it was uncivilized. And I made that opinion very known throughout the team. But then my good friend and teammate Peyton Love introduced me to the dark side. She taught us how to eat them like cum. And now, quite frankly, I can't stop. And I've changed to the dark side. It's really out of character for me, but it's, I'm now a huge proponent of eating them like cum. I know it sounds crazy, but it gets the job done.
I will
All right,
say I don't have super strong opinions of this. I would be very curious to hear what Noon would have to say on the subject. But I definitely appreciated going up to a rest stop and seeing people just eating the little Noon tablets that you're supposed to dissolve in the water and just popping in their mouth, maybe taking a quick swill from their water bottle. Was always pretty funny seeing it at a rest stop. So, but no strong opinions here. I'm quite laissez-faire about the subject.
So I do have update from Noom himself, aka the bottle. It does say add water. So there is their opinion. I think we got some comments coming in.
Hey, Sal. Sal's one of my good friends. Definitely, yeah, thinking of Philip. Sal's good mentor throughout his career. And then Dan as well. Thank you, Sal. Appreciate the ride dedication.
Hey, what's up, Grandma?
Hi, Grandma. Thanks for the support.
Thank you. And I'll give another little shout out to another one of our sponsors, Cliff. Fantastic. Hot take. These little blocks are amazing. They get you through rides. You can lick them and put them on yourself, or on your bike, so they just stay there. You don't have to deal with it. Chris is eating some right now. Hot take. I think the ginger ale is the best. But yeah. Another subject I want to talk about is, I know we have some leadership on this ride. So in Texas 4000, people are elected into leadership roles, and there's a staff, and then it goes to ride directors, assistant ride directors, chairs, committees. Everyone has some help they can do, but we are lucky enough to be joined by the fundraising chair this morning. And just a quick shout out, we just passed $500,000. That's $500,000 in the fight against cancer the other day. A huge shout out to the 2020 team. And I will say that before the pandemic, Texas 4000 2020 team was the number one fundraising team in the history of Texas 4000. Huge shout out to Mihir, who was in charge of that. And Mihir, I just want you to give a little rundown what your position's like, and maybe any advice that you have for fundraising, and a little Texas 4000 promo. Pass it off to you.
Yeah, I think, well, I just want to say, my position was definitely one of the most rewarding parts of being in Texas 4000. I felt not only could I give back on the bike, but I could give back just by making the organization better. Like you mentioned, there's just so many roles and so many things to do within the organization. It's not something that I think you realize when you first join the org. But definitely through my position, just getting to see just how much we do was really cool, really inspiring, and definitely made me want to do a better job at my position each and every day, to see all of my teammates work so hard on the different things that they were working on. As far as fundraising, I think for me, the things that really drew me to it were the very tangible impact it makes. I think, I didn't even know that we just passed $500,000 until just a little bit ago. So just being able, put a number and see, it's not the only impact we make by any means, but it is definitely one form of an impact. That's $500,000 that'll go back to helping fight cancer. And then learning more about the grants process. Just the organizations that we grant to are amazing, and they do really, really impactful work. And I think just a couple of college kids being able to raise a meaningful amount of money for these organizations is just so cool. For example, at UTBME, the biomedical engineering department, we fund different seed projects. And so every single one of those projects is a lottery ticket, right? You never know which one is just going to become in like a revolutionary new treatment in the cancer fight. You never know which one is gonna go on to save someone's life, and just knowing that we're like T4K funds a whole project. So just knowing that we created that, and we gave DME one more opportunity to change someone's life is really cool, and it's a way to like leverage how much impact we have. $500,000 isn't necessarily, it's not very much in the grand scheme of things, but knowing that there's a chance that it goes on to do something really big is really exciting. Advice as far as fundraising, I think fundraising is like really, really difficult. I think there's a lot of people on the team who had trouble with it. I know for me, it was also difficult to like learn it and get used to it. But I think the thing that holds people back the most is not thinking that other people will find them being disingenuous. I think the number one thing about fundraising is you have to remember it's about relationships. It's about being genuine. And I think if you can maintain that while still asking for money, which is kind of hard, then you can be really effective at fundraising. Especially for teammates, fundraising is just an avenue to spread the mission, right? Like it's just a way to begin a conversation about fighting cancer and cancer research. So even if you don't get a donation, you still may be able to have a meaningful conversation with a donor or with a friend or family member. And I think that's a really important thing that anyone in T4K and really anyone in nonprofit who wants to fundraise should remember, is that it's just a chance to spread the mission. And so that's really cool. So yeah, that's my very long spiel. I can talk forever on this topic though.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks, Tammy.
Hey, Frankie. Hope you and Don are doing well in the beach cabin.
Thanks, Melissa. Catherine, my good friend from home. Yeah, so Catherine her grandma lost her battle last year with multiple myeloma. And it's been tough, but this new family has really put a lot of strength through it. And Nana, love you, put a lot of strength through it. So it's been, another huge reason why I ride ever since that happened. We're really thankful for your support, Catherine. Thank you. Riding for Nana.
Thank you. And I said this before, but today is a team-wide ride. We are doing a ride from 8 to 9 a.m. We're also doing a Ochsner program from 5 to 6 and another ride from 6 to 7. So please tune in then as well. We have riders at both times. But a little Texas 4000 history trivia question for y'all. See if you know. Why is Ochsner significant to Texas 4000?
You guys want to go? I think I know the answer, but
this is my favorite. Y'all want to go?
Here just talked a lot. Let's hear it, Chris.
Yeah, so our founder, Chris Condit, was actually treated at Ochsner during his childhood battle with cancer. And we're really fortunate to have had a partnership with them. Texas 4000 was established. So very cool and historical relationship.
Yes, Texas 4000 Ochsner have a long-lasting relationship. They're very proud of it. And again, tune in 5 to 6 p.m. for that program. I believe it'll be live on Facebook as well. And another little transition there, Chris Condit, our founder of Texas 4000, currently employed at Abbott Labs, and our new presenting sponsor, Abbott Labs. They're brand new this year, and we just want to thank y'all so much, and not only helping us out, but I know how much y'all are doing for the world right now. So shout out to Abbott Labs, another sponsor, and all the other sponsors are helping us out. I'm going to go ahead and pass on to the Zoom feed. And like I said earlier, we have lots of riders riding this morning and this afternoon. So if we could pop them up on the screen. There they are.
We have Holden's on the Zoom feed right now, but he is also joining in on our ride. And my roommate Philip is also, he's on the crew team, and so he's also decided to hop in and support as well. It's a big shout out.
Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. I'm gonna let y'all go, but a question to leave off on is, what is the process to get into Texas 4000, and not only that, but then become a Texas 4000 rider? So I'm going to leave y'all with that one, but I'm going to leave y'all alone for a little bit. Get the sweat on. Good luck.
That's interesting. Recruiting stories. I'm excited to hear you guys' take.
I mean, to give some background on the application process, that was the question, right?
Yeah, it's like application, the recruiting process is Texas 4000.
Cool. Yeah. So for background, for anybody watching, so we start with like a paper application sort of thing, kind of telling our own stories, and something that I was on the recruiting committee last summer, so I can speak to it a little bit. The application process is really about communicating your personal stories, and as our ride director Grayson always emphasizes, it's not so much about why you want to be a T4K. It's really about like communicating why you need to be a T4K and what you'll do for your work. So it's not about gatekeeping on merit or anything. It's about dedication. And so then after the paper application, you also get an interview. You tell your story again in person. And Chris or Mahir, do you want to like tell your personal stories about that?
Yeah, I can go. So I thought it was a little daunting at first, just because of like the size of the application. And then once interviews rolled around, we had a group interview, like you said, and then single interview. So it was a very involved process. But I realized that it really helps find the people that have very interesting connections to cancer in the community. And involvement that like I don't think we would see otherwise. So although it is kind of an involved process, I think it really is beneficial down the line. And I had a really positive experience. Start asking myself the hard questions and help open up that dialogue. So once I joined the org, I was a lot more ready to be vulnerable, to engage in those discussions and those dialogues. So it's been a great experience. And for anybody thinking of applying, it really is an incredible experience. So highly recommend it.
Yeah,
you have similar sentiments.
Yeah, I can second pretty much everything you guys already said. It really was a good reflection point, I think, for me. I applied right after Hurricane Harvey, and my family was just really affected by that. So I think the application was just a way to really actively reflect on it and actively think about my experiences in a variety of ways, both cancer related and just because my family was going through a hard time at that moment. And I think my biggest advice is just realize that like everyone who wants to make a difference and just make the world a better place, like T4K is open to all of you, and just share your story. I think that's, there's not too much advice I can really give, but just being authentic and being vulnerable are just really important, and continue to be after you join the org. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with everything that Chris and Mahir said, especially about like being vulnerable. I went into my interview and like cried my eyes out while talking with my friends, and I know a lot of my teammates also did the same. The recruitment process also culminates in like a new rider picnic at the end when we all get in, and I think that's also a really cool time to meet the previous team who's about to go on their ride and kind of pass down the traditions a bit, hear what T4K is really about, and meet our new teammates.
Yeah, New Rider Picnic was it's really fun, especially looking back on it now, because you become really close to all the people on your team, but at that point in time, they're just a bunch of strangers, so it's kind of weird, but in a good way. So, good memories.
Hey, so I was a part of the programs committee, and for those of y'all who don't know, programs is what we do along the ride. We'll deliver short speeches, and interactive programs to our hosts, the communities along the way. And programs are a great way to kind of spread our knowledge pillar and help people understand different cancer facts and statistics, what's going on in therapies and research right now, and also actionable items that they can do to improve their own outcomes with cancer. So it's a really meaningful way to for that hope for that knowledge pillar. But in terms of our new oops, I cut out. Did you guys hear that? So, but in terms of our new situation and our virtual ride, the programs team has been able to ride. I know, Del, I think you're also part of programs, and it's just been an incredible way to kind of spread our message, get people involved, and ultimately make a difference in the community. So, programs all the way, for sure.
So, what about you? Were you on any committees or anything?
Yeah, I'm on travel committee right now, and we are just responsible for exactly what it sounds like, planning the travel component. We contact a lot of hosts in each city that we go to. We have a lot of returning hosts that have hosted us in past years. So I guess we can give a ride dedication to all of them for their continued support within our organization. And then there's also some new hosts. This year I can speak for Ozarks. We originally were planning on going to Atlanta this summer, which is, I think this is the first year that we've gone that far east because we wanted to touch both coasts. So yeah, it's just a lot of routing and contacting with hosts, coordinating with the programs committee as well to put their connected community better.
Thanks, Josh.
Back, y'all. Looking pretty sweaty. I'm not that sweaty. I'm feeling okay. So I'll be having a good time. But I wanted to ask y'all, what is some of your favorite traditions in Texas 4000 up to this point? I know we had skills clinic, training camp, Saturday rides, ride deads. No, there's more. So what y'all think? But let's start off here. Start with me here.
Oh, with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, favorite traditions. There's a lot. I think one of my favorites, just because of how much fun it was training camp. You just get to know it's like the first overnight thing with your teammates, and I know I had a lot of fun just being all together. That was cool, but I think like the best one was just wire rides, which are at meetings. Teammates talk and tell why they joined T4K, and I think that's what builds a lot of really strong bonds in the team, just people being vulnerable with themselves. So, yeah.
All right, Justin, we have a guest appearance coming in. I would like to welcome Philip on the stream. Hello, Philip.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Oh, just
all right.
Swiftly.
All right. So I just asked you here this. I don't know if you heard, but I'm going to throw it at you too. What is your favorite Texas 4000 tradition up until this point? I know we have wire rides, ride deads, training camp, skills clinic, but what has been your favorite tradition in Texas 4000 so far?
Well, I think
actually, I'm sorry, Phil. Could you give us a quick introduction? I apologize.
Oh, hello, everyone. Hope everyone can hear me all right. My name is Philip. I am the 2020 Sierra Ride Director.
All right. Thank you, Phil.
I think as far as like team building goes, like in terms of like developing our team culture, I would definitely say training camp was really impactful for that. It was the first time when we spent several days together. And it's really hard to imagine like going through something like training camp and not coming out of it as a closer team. But I've definitely got to go with wire rides. Those are just a constant reminder about why the work that we do is so important. And just hearing people's stories is really impactful, or at least it was for myself, because, you know, you go through Texas 4000 and you're not exactly sure sort of what reasons that people had to join this organization and what reasons people had to cross paths with your own. And wire rides are always just the most perfect encapsulation of why students our age want to do something like this, and about, you know, a constant reminder of how cancer affects us all, but also that there'll always be people like our team or any other Texas 4000 team who will always put those who suffer first, which I find endlessly hopeful and inspiring. So I would definitely go with wire rides.
Thank you, Philip. And with that, I'm going to give it a nice 10-minute countdown to the end of this stream. Keep those comments coming. Keep those ride deads coming. Again, I'm saying it again. I know y'all heard it. In the comments of Facebook or YouTube, go check us out, texas4000.org. You can learn more about ride deads and donate to and help us out. Oh, we got a question through the stream. Are any of y'all going into the fields that are related to cancer research? Oh, we can get rid of Philip now. You don't. I can repeat that question though. Are any of y'all going to fields that are related to cancer research?
I'm hoping to do some form of cancer research in medical school. I don't know if that's what I want to do in the long run. So I might be, helping out however I can, but that's definitely something that Texas 4000 has inspired me to pursue. And I'm excited to get my foot in the door for that.
Yeah, I'm going into consulting after college. So I'm definitely hoping to be put onto cases or projects where it'll involve some sort of healthcare, and really hoping for something related to cancer research. I think my experience working at Texas Health Catalyst taught me a lot about how the business world can kind of be an impact in that. And so hoping to be involved in the area, but we'll see where life takes us. But I think the good thing is T4K has definitely made it so that I'm definitely always going to remain trying to be involved in the fight. And if I can't do that in a professional way, it'll be in a personal way.
Yeah, same thing for me. With my career, I'm not going directly into a field related to cancer research, but like we hear, even if it's not life, continuing in contributing to the fight.
Nice. All right, another question for y'all. As you can see, I am decked out in all my Texas 4000 gear. Got my sunscreen. So I know Texas 4000 has a lot of safety procedures, like wearing sunscreen, helmets. Tell us a little about the reason we are so, I guess, safe. I know that's a good question, but why we have all these procedures in terms of when we ride, not only in training, but during the ride itself.
Well, I'll start real quick. I just want to give if we're on the topic of safety, I want to give a big shout out to Holden, who is our T4K safety coordinator. He's not on the live stream right now. I have my headphones plugged in, but Holden was just a huge part in keeping the team safe, making sure that we were identifying the things that were going wrong as riders and what we could do better. His safety updates and meetings were always really informative, and it's easy for safety to be a thing that like you can be kind of like a disciplinarian about, but I think Holden did a really great job of always making sure that we knew why a certain procedure or policy was there, and really making sure that we all had the desire to be safe and not just that we were following rules. And I think just creating that culture was like a really amazing part of what he did in his time at T4K, and can't give it a big enough shout out to him.
Thank you, Mahir. Chris?
Yeah, safety was one of the most important things for us, especially since a lot of us were new to cycling. And it was really important to keep us kind of on the right side of, learning proper cycling etiquette. It kept us safer in the long run, and it also helps us set a good example for others in the cycling community. So I think it's been a huge part of our journey so far, and I think it's a really important part.
Yeah, I would definitely echo everything that everyone else has already said. It's really dangerous out there on the road, especially when you're up against cars and you're a bicycle. So making sure that we're doing everything we can to be proper safety precautions. We can't control what other people are doing, but if we're keeping ourselves safe, then we can just continue fighting for this mission to the more.
Nice. All right. I got one more question. This one's going to be just for Del. Del, how did you end up on Ozarks? And how did you choose, or how do you prep routes? How the process does that look like?
Yeah. So with Ozarks, I prepped it because I have family in Mississippi and in the Midwest in Iowa. And so I wanted to ride through those communities because I felt very connected to them. Also because that although all routes kind of go through different types of communities, I think Ozarks goes through the most when there are issues about access to care. And so that's a big reason why I joined T4K. Especially down in the Deep South, there's a lot of majority Black communities. We've been from various studies that like Black patients' descriptions of symptoms are often not taken as seriously as their white counterparts. We know from Be the Match that there is really big disparities between donors on the registry for white patients and for Black patients or mixed patients. And this is exactly the problem that the T takes. So I think bringing this knowledge through the Ozarks route was a big motivation.
Thank you, Del. All right, and with that, we have a T-minus 4 minutes until we let you all go. There's another comment.
Okay, thank you. And big shout out to Austin.
Another Ozarks out there. And like I was saying, we have 4 minutes left. Any last questions? Any last ride dads? Send them in the comments. Like a YouTuber, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. But with our 4 minutes left, I will also do another reminder to check in at 5 p.m. Central Time. Check out our program with Oshner, and then we have another ride at 6 p.m. Central Time, which would be a very similar structure to this right now, because we like to split it up. And like I said earlier, I love today because it represents all 3 routes. So, but with that, I'm gonna go around the circle. I'm gonna see, do y'all have any closing remarks, any last minute ride deads, anything you'd like to say to the stream before we go and close it out for the day? Chris, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah. So as always, shout out to my family for all their incredible support throughout this process. All my friends who've watched me and supported me through all this. And then always riding for the 2020 team. Y'all have shown so much resiliency, passion, dedication, maturity throughout this whole process, especially as we transition to this new format. So really appreciative of that. And then once again, reiterating Catherine Sinise's ride dead for her Nana Lovey. Would have been her birthday today, so celebrating her life and her fight against cancer as well.
All right, Del.
Yeah. So I want to again echo our riders. We're always supporting you and your family. So thank you for everything you've done for our team. We couldn't be here without you. And then riding for our hosts. And shout out to everybody who tuned in today. Thank you for supporting us. We love you all, and we'll continue to do our work in the mission.
And last but not least, me here.
Yeah, there's just so many people to say thank you for. It's hard to even know where to start. Just all of my friends and family especially, who just like supported me and encouraged me to do something really great with my life. And I feel like I couldn't have done any of this without their support. And to my family back home in India, just continuing to inspire me in the way that they fight for their community is really big. And just for the team, there's just so many great people on the team, and all of your stories have just inspired me so much. And even if we didn't necessarily talk about it, I definitely always riding for you guys. So yeah, just thank you.
And with that, we also like to get closing remarks to the team themselves on the Zoom. If you could pull that. Here they are. And I'll go let y'all ride it out. But finish strong. They got about literally 60 seconds. But see y'all this afternoon. Thank you everyone for tuning in. You can learn more at texas4000.org. Together we can make a difference. Peace.